Very good morning to all of you, my dear students. In our previous class, we discussed a lot of interesting facts about human body. We came to know many interesting things in that class. So, just like all those things, one interesting thing I will tell you today itself, and that is cells of the human body produce several kinds of waste products. This is also a very interesting fact because our whole body works like an organism and organization. Okay, an organism itself is just like an organization where different departments are there to do different things, and in under all those departments there are different offices for specific purposes, and all of those specific offices require some amount of input in form of energy, and they produce some output in form of their product, and they also produce some waste materials. Like every office have a dustbin. Have you seen any office without any dustbin? No. Every classroom of a school also have dustbins. So waste is always produced whenever something is produced, made. Okay, whenever we produce something, make something, always there are some waste products which are remaining. Okay, so let's see an example of a human cell. Okay, let's see this. Let's say this is a cell. Okay, a animal cell. So it has a cell membrane which acts like a wall, the boundary of the office. Then it have again a nuclear membrane which acts as a head office. Okay, and then the nucleus is the brain where DNA, RNA is there. These nutrients are going inside from the left side, and then there is a manufacturing plant which is manufacturing things. Then there is a packaging unit where things are being packed. Then there is energy generator where, I mean, everything is going great. Okay, and this is how office works. Similarly, a cell works. Okay, then we have metabolic wastes. In this class we will explore what are exactly those metabolic wastes in case of an animal or a plant cell, and how can we get rid of them from our body. Okay, so let us start. First thing is carbon dioxide. As we know that nutrition is respiration is very essential for producing energy, and the main thing which is produced in respiration is energy. Okay, and as a byproduct carbon dioxide is also produced, which is harmful for our body, and we need to get rid of them. Okay, so these are the carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide, as a result of respiration, every cell produces carbon dioxide. Okay, we understood in that class whether it is a nerve cell, a bone cell, a blood cell, a muscle cell, or any other cell. All of cells, whether if the cell is living, the nail cells will not produce carbon dioxide because they are dead cells. Okay, but if a cell is living, if it is functioning, it will definitely need some energy, and for that it will need some oxygen, and if energy will be produced, carbon dioxide will definitely be produced. So we have our respiratory system to collect all that carbon dioxide from the body through circulatory system and then expel it out of the body. Okay, let's see the next thing. Next thing is nitrogenous wastes. Okay, what are nitrogenous wastes? It includes urea, uric acid, and ammonia. Okay, we will explore what are these things. All these substances are highly poisonous. Urea is removed from in the form of urine. Okay, so nitrogenous wastes are just like carbon dioxide is produced in respiration. Nitrogenous wastes are produced after digesting protein. Okay, protein digestion is a most complex thing, most complex type of digestion. Okay, protein is complex to digest. It is a complex molecule. So it produces some kind of waste materials which are really harmful for our body if it is not removed on time. Okay, so those substances are urea, uric acid, and ammonia. Okay, how are they formed? And let's see, first let's see the excretory um, you know wastes. What are those wastes which we need to excrete? First let's see them. Okay, So carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste. Then we have water. Okay, lots of water is consumed with food and beverages. Excess water is removed from the body in the form of urine and sweat. Okay, so just like in the middle of night, this gentleman is he wants to go to urinate, but he is feeling very sleepy at the same time, and he is murmuring that I am the master of my own bladder, I can control it, but it's not good. Okay, so okay, it's good also because in ancient times people were saying that if you uh, try to stop your urination for some time, just intentionally, it somehow helps you. Okay, I don't know whether it is true or not, but let's not discuss about it. It may be a myth. Okay, so lots of water is consumed with food and beverages. Okay, and excess water is removed for sweat and urine. Okay, so simple, we already know this. Okay, why do we consume excess water? Because water is needed to for digestion. Okay, and for digestion, body don't take water from outside. Our internal tract digestive tract is designed such a way that it can only absorb water. It can't expel water into the tract to make it make the process easier. So we need water to digest the food. Okay, so extra water we drink, and water also helps to remove the waste out of the body. If there is no water, it will be uh, the process of excretion will not be so easy and effective. Okay, whenever you need to clean anything, we need water. That's why similarly our body also need water to dissolve the waste materials into it and then excrete the whole matter. Okay, water. Okay, so water. Then we have uh, excess salt. Excess salts are also considered as waste and are removed by the kidneys along with the urine. Along with urine, salt is also removed by kidney. So these are the materials which are harmful present in our body. Carbon dioxide, which is formed after respiration, nitrogenous waste, which is formed after digestion of protein, water, which we intake excess, and that is more than what we need in our system, so we need to excrete them. Then we have excess salt, which is formed by several other metabolic activities. Okay, all the chemical reactions, many chemical reactions, I would say 60% or 70%, which are taking in place in our body, produces some kind or the other kind of salt. Okay, so salt is also, it is very essential although. Okay, but excess of salt is bad also. It can cause dehydration. Okay, so dehydration means loss of water. It can happen in two ways: either you have less water or you have more salt. So dehydration particularly means um, concentration of water in the body. Okay, so it can happen, water can get concentrated in two ways: either you reduce the amount of water or you increase the amount of salt. Okay, so these two ways are the same thing, dehydration. Okay, so excess of salt can cause dehydration. Okay, okay, so this is it. I hope you understood and enjoyed about understanding these things. Okay, so now we have one more thing. You will say that, sir, you missed one thing. The ejection of stool from the digestive system is missed, but actually it is not excretion, it is ejection. Okay, and that is different from excretion. How it is different, we will see right now. Okay, let me keep it here only. So here we go. Ejection and excretion. Let's see how are they different from one another. In ejection, after digestion, the part of food left undigested is thrown out of the body by the process of ejection. Okay, but excretion is removal of metabolic waste from the body. In the beginning of chapter, we talked about the term metabolic wastes. Metabolic wastes are the wastes which are produced by certain chemical reactions inside the cell. Okay, but digestion is not happening inside the cell. It is a organ based thing. It is happening inside organs, but not in every cell. Okay, there is a system, there is an organ specified for digestion, set of organs. Okay, then in ejection it takes place through the anus. There is a special organ called anus for egestion. Okay, and excretion, it takes place through the lungs, urethra, or the skin. So these are the organs for egestion. But you will say this is not, actually this is a difference, but it is not differentiating these two because all of them are organs. Let's go to the next point. The discharge waste has never assessed through a cell. The discharged waste has never assessed through a cell. That means it is not coming from a cell. The excreted matter was formed inside a cell as a result of metabolic reaction. This is the main difference on which basis we differentiate these two processes, egestion and excretion. So excretion is a process of excreting matter that was formed inside a cell as a result of some metabolic reaction. Okay, this is very important. Whenever a waste is produced inside a cell, it is always due to the metabolic reaction which is happening inside the cell. What is metabolic reaction? All the reaction which is happening inside the cell are called metabolic reaction. Okay, next point is, this is the final step of the process of digestion in human body, egestion, and excretion is the removal of wastes that are formed as a result of various life processes. Okay, life processes are definitely what are life processes? Life processes are like growth, reproduction, um, movement, locomotion, and all those things which are identical, associated with a living organism. Whenever something is living, it will show life processes. Okay, so life processes is always cellular level. Okay, so it is the excretion is the removal of waste that are produced as a result of various life processes. Okay, then the last point is that the waste matter is called feces. Okay, feces. Here the excreted matter is called sweat, urine, or carbon dioxide. This is also a difference, but it is not differentiating, just like point number uh, 2. Okay, then what is the main difference? If it is coming in a short answer, if it is a long answer, you can write all these things, but if it is a short answer, what is the on point main difference? The main difference is that in egestion, the excretory product is formed because of is the byproduct of digestion. Okay, the remaining part of after digestion. But in excretion, it is the metabolic waste which is produced inside the cell and is excreted. Okay, somehow there are many organs and ways to excrete. Okay, but for egestion we have only one tract and one channel, and that is called digestive tract and the anus, through which the egestion can take place. Okay, so I hope you got this concept, and if you have any doubt, please let me know. I will definitely clear it up. Okay, thank you very much.